Hey, JB here, the Wolf of Wall Street in the Wolf's Den. Got a great podcast for you today. As always, we're going to start it off here with a little bit of wolf talk, insight into what's going on, what you should be thinking about, what there is to learn from everything around us. And there's a lot. So I have a great guest today. Before I mention his name, I want to just give you some background here on why I think this guest is important. I think there's a really fine line here between what is worth investing in yourself with education and all the bullshit out there, the noise, the stuff that's really not there to enrich you in terms of give you knowledge, help you make more money. And it's just people out there hawking courses to separate you from your money. And you gotta be careful. Listen, I'm always one of saying invest in yourself, grow yourself. You know, you're like this vessel, and the bigger you make this vessel, meaning you, money is going to come in and fill up this vessel. It's almost a law of nature, right? And I forgot who said that first. I heard that once by some speaker, and I was like, you know, it's kind of true, right? And I want to give that person credit. But the point is that speaker was saying it, but they had an alternative, motive, and that was to get you to buy their shit. Right? And some of their shit was not very good. And it was just sort of this way of conditioning you about, just grow yourself, make yourself big, and the money will fill the vacuum because nature abhors a vacuum, right? And again, it's true, but it's nonsense if the people that are trying to sell you courses are selling you shit. I'm a big believer in investing in yourself. And listen, you guys know, some of you buy my courses, and you know they're great because they are. Because I put massive effort into creating them. None of them are business opportunities. I'm not saying that some biz ops are okay, but none of mine are biz ops. Mine are skills training. They have to do with actually teaching you something. And when it comes to selling and persuasion, there's nothing better than the straight line in the world. You know that's true, right? You use it and it benefits massive number of people around the world. The problem starts is when you start to blindly trust every charlatan, every carnival barker out there who's trying to sell you some shit to make money. Be careful. You get it? Be careful. Before you buy anything, be exhaustive about reading the reviews. Go on Reddit. Research. In other words, the problem is some of these guys are really sophisticated and they go out there and they kind of overload Google in the front page or two, and they even buy scam alerts. They'll buy their own scam alerts and redirect them to pages that say great things about them. You get it? And you got to be careful. So before you spend any money on anything, make sure that you know what you're actually buying. And again, I'm a big believer in this. I think that you should buy lots of courses if they're real and if they're designed to really give you a skill set that's going to allow you to succeed in life. I'm a big believer in this, but there's a lot of shit out there and it keeps getting noisier and more crowded every single day. So I would, A, do research before you buy. B, check with friends. Check with people, maybe other people know about this person that's allegedly selling you the next greatest this or that, okay, the next shiny object course, right? And, I'm telling you, 99% of them suck. I'm saying it out loud. 99% suck. And they are merely designed to separate you from your money. And then there's 1% that are awesome, where the person truly is an expert in their field and truly has figured out some unique way of explaining a certain strategy to you that allows you to essentially internalize that strategy and use it in the real world and make money and get what you want in life. That's the purpose of education. Sometimes I hear people talk, is college really worth it anymore? Is it not? And the answer to that one is maybe. It depends. It depends on what your goals are. It depends on what you're looking to accomplish in life. If you're one of those people that's looking to get a degree, because you want to just get a degree because your mommy or your daddy said it's good to get a degree because you think people will look at you differently, if you need this to sound smarter, don't waste your fucking time going to college. It gives you nothing like that. So if you're just getting it for some soft reason, I mean, I honestly, I run the other way, especially with the liberal bullshit brainwashing that happens there. It's worthless to go to college. All you end up with is a disempowered mindset, feeling guilty about being whatever color your skin is. If you're black, you're white, there's something wrong with everybody here, okay? It doesn't matter what you are, what you do, you'll always end up feeling guilty like you owe someone else something, and all they want is you to give money to the frickin' college when you make money one day. Give to the, I am so down on traditional education right now, okay? But if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a psychologist, like a real one, like my daughter who went to NYU and she's using the degree that she got, that's very different. If you have been a person that's applied yourself your whole life, you've always done the work. You've got A's your whole life, and now you're taking that next step up, going to college, and you're going to use that prestigious college degree and a grad degree maybe to get yourself a job on the corporate ladder. Well, yeah, that's probably a good idea too. But if that's not who you are, if you've been trying to cut school your whole life because you hated it, right? And you're going to go there because you just think it's the thing to do, and it's going to somehow benefit you because you have a college degree, don't waste your freaking time. Avoid it like the plague. Take that money and invest it in real courses that teach you practical skills, and go out there and be an entrepreneur or be a salesperson and be in business for yourself. Don't fall into the dead-end trap of mediocrity and averagism they prescribe in college. It's nonsense, and it will get you nowhere. When I was growing up, the whole American dream was, go get a good job, get a pension, get your Social Security one day, and you can live happily ever after in your house that you had your mortgage book burning party for, and you can grow old and gray, and the picket fence, white picket fence, and somewhere in buttfuck God knows where, right? Guess what? That was never real. It was always a lie, spoon-fed to us on sitcoms like Leave It to Fucking Beaver and whatever, and people would say, oh, that's all, so that's what life's supposed to look like. Nonsense. It's bullshit. If you go to work for a regular corporation, everyday company, and you let them take your money, put it in a pension, they'll probably go bankrupt, and it'll be enough to barely pay for your diapers when you're in a nursing home. And you're getting fed soup through straws, and one who bitch slaps you when she's in a bad mood. That's what happens to people that try to work for 40 or 50,000 bucks a year and end up dying broke with poor medical care, with their hand out, looking to their children or somewhere else. They can't retire with pride or dignity or anything else. Don't let that be you. Don't let that eventuality ever come to pass in your life. That's what education's about. That's what self-education's about. That's what courses are about that you buy online, but they gotta be the right ones. So choose carefully. And with that, I want to introduce my guest, who's a very smart guy. Very smart guy. But, he sells a lot of these courses online, right? Some are good, some are not as good. And, that's not his concern. I get that. He's not selling the courses. I'm sure when he sells something, it's probably really good. But beware the buyer, beware, right? Beware the buyer, beware, right? Be careful. He's a very smart guy. I like him. I respect him. But, again, it's a cruel world out there, and not everyone's going to protect you. You have to protect yourself. So with that, I want you to learn a lot from this next guest here. He's a really solid dude, all right? First, we'll hear from our sponsor, namely me, and then after you hear from me, we'll cut to Jason Stone and I. This is a perfect time now to take a brief pause here, and I'm going to give everybody here a gift. I'm going to give everybody here free access to the introduction and the first training module to the formalized straight line certification program. This is a system that I sell for $5,000 here to individuals, to large corporations, medium-sized corporations as well, right? It's a very robust, interactive training with quizzes and exams. It's ultimately a diploma-based course that changes people's lives. But I figure what I'll do here is like 12 or 13 modules, but I'm going to give everybody, this is not one of those free things where I say, and you have to enter your credit card, and I hope you don't then forget to cancel. No. I'm talking really free. I'm going to just simply give you a link, and you sign up for it, and you get access to the introduction, then the first training module, which is the 5 core elements of the straight line, cracking the code for sales and influence. This alone will change your existence. Just understanding what has to go into getting someone to buy from you. And again, there's no obligation. You're not putting a credit card in. You have to just enter your information here. And then after you're done, once you've gone through this, if you want to keep going, then we can have a conversation about you picking up with the rest of the training. But this first part of it is free. My gift to you. All right. Let me give you the link. The link is jordanbelfort.com. Simple, right? /bonus, bonus. So after you're done listening to this podcast, go to jordanbelfort.com that's a /bonus, bonus, and you'll be on a page. You enter your information, and that will give you access to this incredibly robust training. You're going to get the introduction and the first module, which includes the quizzes, the exercises. And I promise you that when you're done with this first module, you are going to be blown away. All right, so here we are, Jason, the man, the myth, the legend. I got some questions for you, starting with the fact, what the hell is going on in Miami right now? I hear the coronavirus is everywhere. I'm not a big believer, not that there's a coronavirus. I know there's a virus, but I just was not really into this whole lockdown because I thought, I think we should have taken all the money that was lost during this lockdown financially, all the suffering and economic pain, and taken that money and sequestered the older people, giving them filet mignon and lobster tails, caviar for the rest of their lives, and let them, the people who die from this, who ended up dying anyway, we should have protected them, let the young people actually catch this so they can get immune. That was my thoughts. What say you?
Man, I think I have it right now, to be honest with you.
My son has it right now.
Literally.
My son, one of my kids has it right now.
Wow.
As we speak.
I mean, yeah. I had a fever 2 nights ago. What's going on right now? It's crazy that we're going through this, but I think this virus, it's just got to run its course. It's going to do its thing. It doesn't care who you are, what you look like, where you're from, what color you are. It's going to get to you no matter what. So just like the flu went around way back when the flu started, it got to everybody.
What's interesting? What interests me, Jason, is that I agree with you, right? And my thesis way back when I was going crazy about this on social media was that, and I sponsor Red Bull. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, what I was going crazy about on social media was that I said, the thesis was that we need to lock everyone down to flatten the curve, with the idea that we needed to flatten the curve so we didn't overwhelm hospitals. Right? It wasn't that we'd flatten the curve so no one would ever get it, or we'd be able to find the cure before people got it. It was just let's not overwhelm the hospitals. But I can't think of any cases where hospitals have been overwhelmed and when the government couldn't easily step in. So it just seemed to me like we destroyed the economy. Or
there was one or two hospitals in New York that got overwhelmed, and then the news blew it up that every hospital was overwhelmed. There was only a couple in New York where
But the point was they had, at the same time, they had empty beds in Jacob Javits Center. I'm a New Yorker, so I know. They had a hospital ship that was 2% capacity. It wasn't like the idea was people would run out of ventilators and die. And it just turned out not to be that. So I wonder why they're still trying to keep people locked inside. I think people, like you said, have got to catch it. I think people got to get it. Not older people. Very dangerous for someone in their 70s. Different story. But for average people like yourself, my son, he's got it. He's feeling better now. He'll be back at work in 3 days. Done.
I've been taking a test every couple of weeks. I got the home one. I pricked my finger. The antibody test. I took one yesterday because I got the fever the night before, but it's actually only 10 days out. You got to take it. But I mean, it's funny. The gyms down here, they retaliated. They said, we ain't shutting down. The gyms all sent the mayor of Miami messages and bombarded him they're not shutting down. So gyms stayed open today.
I love it.
When they're supposed to be closed. Restaurants, I don't know the battle with restaurants. Restaurants are open at 50% capacity. I don't think that's going to that's the safest place to be, is a 50% capacity place. It's the restaurants that allow you to gather at the bars and we had a club open up 2-3 weeks ago. We actually went, and that wasn't a club. It was like a bar, and the bar opened up, and we were there, and my friends said they got it that night at the bar.
And are they still alive and kicking?
They had symptoms for 1 day, 2 days. They went and got tested, and they're over it.
Wow. What can I say? I want to move past this, but so hopefully either you have it and you'll be better soon, or you don't have it and maybe you'll get it and be better soon. But either way, so where are you from? New York or California or Florida?
I'm originally from Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, Cleveland, Shaker Heights area. Where are you from?
Bedford.
Bedford. Okay.
It's Cleveland, Ohio, pretty much.
Cleveland. Okay.
Bedford's a suburb.
And what brought you down to Miami?
Oh man,
It's not Cleveland.
The women and the weather. That's my response to everybody.
The women and the weather. Okay, and the taxes maybe too, right? What about the taxes are better there too?
Yeah,
doesn't hurt, right?
Yeah, it helps.
So you make your money online, right? As an influencer, is that how you did it?
Okay, so I'm a mechanical engineer. I went to college, so I started after I got out of college. During college, I started an engineering firm selling turbocharger parts for cars. So like the Fast and the Furious movies will come out, our business would be booming back in the day. So turbochargers, intercoolers, we engineer and manufacture high performance turbocharging parts for pretty much all different cars, all different makes and models, the Japanese, the European, American muscle. So that's like where I got started. I've had that business literally for 20 years now. I started when in my 20s. I'm 40 years old now. So that business is like
You're fucking old, by the way. You're 40. Holy shit.
40, yeah.
I thought you were in your 20s or something. You know, you look good. I guess it's the tan, right?
Yeah, I got this nice glow lighting over here.
You married?
Yeah. Married 9-year-old boy and 4-year-old girl.
Wow. I thought you were younger for some reason. I thought you were in your 20s or something. You're like an old man. I get it. I'm older than you, but I could say that with a bit of a joke in my voice here. So Matt, where'd you go to college?
Akron University.
And 4 years, 4-year degree, drop out.
Took me about 5.5 years to complete the degree.
That's okay. Still complete more than most. Listen, I think, for some people, college is a good thing. Others, it's more of a social thing. I think it depends. My daughter, for example, graduated first out of a school in Pennsylvania, then to NYU grad school. And she's, for her, like psychologist degrees, it's absolutely necessary, and she's built a great career as a result. But for many people, I think college is sort of not necessary. I think it's a waste of time, in fact.
I mean, especially in today's day and age where self-education is something I preach. It's funny because I have a college degree, but I tell people not to go to college. You go to college if you want to become a doctor or lawyer.
Exactly. Yeah, certain degrees is necessary, right? There's two paths. There's the path, right? There's that path of where you're going to, get degrees that actually matter. And then those where you're just doing it to go smoke pot in Arizona State. Nothing against Arizona State, but it's true what I'm saying. You know that to be true, right?
Yeah, well, that's pretty much. I mean, luckily for me, I couldn't even stay at a dorm room. My mom wouldn't even let me stay on campus. I had to travel 30, 40 minutes to school every day. It was like 3-4 days out of the week. But my uncle went to the same school and he was a frat boy. And my mom knows what he went through as a frat. And then she's like, you're not staying on campus. You're not being in a frat. So my mom was really sheltered me. So
sure.
Once I got out of college.
Here's my question to you. One thing that intrigues me about your story is that you made your name as an influencer, so to speak. You made it on Instagram, yet you never show yourself, or very seldom show yourself. You don't use yourself as the centerpiece of what you do. It's more about memes and other stuff. Why is that strategic, or by accident? Did it happen that way, or just evolve that way?
That's actually a good question because it leads into the story of how the account was born. And it was born out of adversity. My house was robbed. And 7 years ago, a good 7 years ago, we had personal accounts. My wife had like 10,000 followers. I had like 2,500 followers on Instagram. And we thought we were the shit. That was a lot of followers back in the day. We would post, different things. We went out of town. We'd post our life. I'd post her shoes, her purses. I had a couple of watches back in the day. And we went out of town, took the kids to Orlando. Boom, the house was robbed over the weekend. They, from social media, by showing that we were out of town in Orlando, people came, robbed the entire house, everything, her clothes, purses, shoes, computers, all jewelry. So we came back. It was pretty devastating. And a week after that, we deleted our social media. We talked about it, like, let's get off social media. This is not for us. It's just a picture sharing app. Like Instagram 7 years ago was not what it was today.
Sure.
So
what did it start off as? It started off as just like what, like you could make photos nicer. So what was it about in the beginning?
that was all it was, is upload a photo and put a filter on it. There was like 4 filters, 4 or 5 different Actually, there wasn't filters. You can adjust the contrast and the saturation. People oversaturate their pictures. Anyways, I remember doing that back in the day. So deleted the account, fuck social media. We're done with social media. And then I saw my friend on social media selling diet plans. He was doing a couple $1,000s a day selling diet plans with less than 10,000 followers. And he was just, a buff guy, went to the gym, put people on the diet plans. Now there's thousands of influencers doing that now. So that made me think, I'm like, okay, maybe Instagram can be used for other things besides sharing your life. So that's when I launched the account Millionaire Mentor. I'm like, let me just share my story. Let me give back to the world. Let me give some people some tips and tricks. I've always thought of myself as a pretty good teacher. So I was pretty successful back, before I was 30. I think I was a millionaire before 30 with the Treadstone business. So I just wanted to share my story. And I was just started posting memes, the luxury photos. Instead of posting my luxury photos, I'd post other people's, put some motivation and inspiration on it. And here we are today.
So how many followers do you have on Instagram?
6.2 million.
Okay. And do you monetize that like in a specific way, or mostly through like do you monetize, like, is it education, or use it as a branding thing, or just for your education?
Yeah, I guess to finish the first question, that's why I don't post so much of me on the page, because the page was not born from me. I took the page to 1 million followers and nobody knew who I was. That was like 2 years. I kind of hid behind the page because I was scared. I was scared to post my own personal stuff. So that's why it is what it is today, where I think more and more I'm going to start introducing my personal brand. I think we just put so much content out. I can't put my personal brand content out. And that's one of the reasons why we grow so much. We actually grow 10,000 new followers a day. It's because we pump out so much content.
What type of content is it that you're putting out there mostly?
Videos, viral videos, meme pictures, cartoon pictures. I started putting myself on the cartoon pictures. But yeah, I'm going to inject more of my personal brand on it, where right now I just do it on stories. So that's what I just post what I'm doing, my behind the scenes. I do that on stories. So the way we've monetized it is, I remember selling my first shout out for $20 6-7 years ago. People paid me to post them. So now, we post advertisements consistently every single day for the last 7 years. And it's actually a full-time business. I could probably live just off that income alone, very, very well off. So the advertising is one of the ways we monetize it. Every time we tag somebody on the page, we're making money. Every single time. Whether it's sometimes we'll post on stories, there's be advertisements. If you see like different ads, there's actually a story ad on my phone's in my pocket, but there's a story ad on my story advertisement on a story right now. And I was like, almost $1,500 just to post that. So, and then the other way is a very lucrative way, is affiliate marketing. I've been doing affiliate offers, and that's where I preach the self-education. Self-education is a new norm. If you want to learn a skill, you want to learn a high income skill, go out and learn copywriting, go out and learn how to do Facebook ads, go out and learn how to grow other people's Instagram accounts, how to learn real estate. I think there's a real estate ad on my profile right now. So these are all different niche skills that we promote, and I'm either getting paid for an advertisement or I'm getting paid as an affiliate. So if I'm selling someone's course, which I've been pushing courses for the last 6 years, a good 5 years. I started affiliate marketing 2 years in. I didn't even know what affiliate marketing was, until 5 years ago. The guy was like, I'm going to give you a special link. All you do is put this special link in your profile. I'm going to share the profits with you. So we put the special link in my profile. This was 5 years ago. The first affiliate offer I ran was like how to become a freelancer. How to become a freelancer and sell your skills, how to build websites, do marketing, SEO. And we did like 10 grand my first time. Like, I just made $5,000 off of posting you for a few times for the last few days. I'm like, whole nother business model was born. So that I learned how to do marketing. I learned how to do social media advertising, social media influencer. And that's another income stream from the account. Like, people will pay me to be a brand ambassador. Now, I don't get really many brand ambassador deals, but sometimes I'll wear some clothing or, something that ties into my brand that I can relate to, that my audience can relate to. So that's another way. And then promoting my own business. So that's a fourth business model of the account. I can promote any business that I ever want to start in my entire life to my followers. It doesn't matter what business it is. I can promote. I started a supplement line, or it's called Wealth Nutrition. What else? I invested in a company called Snowball Money, which is a decentralized finance app. We actually just raised $600,000 in the last month on Republic.
Do you ever worry that some of these courses that you're promoting though maybe aren't really good, or the people are not getting their money's worth about that, and that might either affect your brand or also just not the right thing to do?
Yeah, there's been some of those that I've promoted that ended up being the gurus that I shouldn't have promoted. But there's so many gurus out there. It's hard to tell, like, when they want to pay you $500,000 just to post them on Instagram, I'm like, how much due diligence should I do? So that's why we always put the disclaimer on it. But there's been a couple in the past that have gotten caught up. It's unfortunate. It's just the name of the game here. But I try to do my due diligence, and I do say no. I'll tell you that. I do say no to advertisements that, like a young little 15, 16-year-old kid trying to promote his e-commerce course. I'm like, no, let's show me some results. Show me some track record before we, I put my brand, because it's not just Millionaire Mentor. I'm partially tied into the brand as an influencer. So it's like, I call it like a hybrid account. It's not 100% my personal brand. It's also a business.
And do you ever think about like this idea that, how many of the people that use these courses, my big problem with this is that I think a lot of people that go for these how-to, their own business opportunities, there's such a low rate of adoption. And by the way, some of that's on the people who buy them, like the people that, they don't ever take action, they don't apply themselves. But there are also those courses that are almost like they're just designed to, separate people from their money, or maybe they're paying you. Maybe the course is fairly priced, but it's about to put them into an ascension model. It's like a disaster for them. You know what I mean? There's a lot of that stuff going on out there. And it drives me crazy because there's also a lot of great people out there too that have great stuff, and it sort of makes it difficult for them because they're up against people that are, providing stuff that really has no value, Yeah,
I mean, I've been through some of the companies that were pyramid schemes. I've been there, I've done it. I know the people that promote these type of different offers where the product is not even tangible.
Right.
Like the product has no legs to stand on. They're just promoting. Like we got people that promote an affiliate, another biz op. And, I've been there, so I know what it is, but there's a lot of people that don't even know what that is. And they just see, make $100 online. Here, let me give you my money.
What's the biggest hit you've ever made on one of these deals with affiliates? Like where you've actually promoted a product that just really worked well for you?
I mean, in a short term, there's been a real estate wholesaling offer I did for Cody Sperber, Clever Investor on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
A few years ago, we did $100,000 pretty in a shorter period of time. And then there's been an Amazon offer where we teach people how to actually sell on Amazon. Now, this guy is something I vetted. I've been promoting him for the last 4 or 5 years. Kaching Effect. His offer is consistent. Clever Investor, the real estate, the Amazon course. There hasn't been a lot of good e-commerce courses that I've pushed just because there's so many fly-by-night e-com people.
What do you think what would you say your skill set is? Like, how would you define yourself in terms of like, what, if you were to teach something yourself, what would you teach?
Social media marketing. Like I could teach you how to drive traffic from social media. Get the object of social media is to get your followers off of Instagram and into your own database, your email list, your text message list. If you can, because you don't really control Instagram, but you can control your email list, and you can control your text message list, and you can control. What's cool is it's actually still controlled by Instagram, but a direct message bot, where a bot can go into your DMs and answer DMs for you, send out DMs. I don't know if you noticed on my Instagram profile, I have DM me the word this or DM me the word this, sends out an automated message. It's really cool. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's you want to be able to control your audience and build the list, whether it's text, email, or get them onto YouTube, get them onto your website, is getting them off of Instagram and taking action. That's the goal.
And if you were to advise, let's say you had your own son, not to go into your business, but what business would you have him go? If he was going to be one, hey, Dad, I want to do something online, what would you tell him? What courses would you tell him to buy? What would you tell him to do?
What course would I advise?
Like, how would you advise your own, someone you really cared about? What would you say? How to get started? What's the first step for someone? What are the essential skills? Where do they find them? And what should they do?
I think at the end of the day, everybody wants to sell something online, and that's usually some sort of brand and a physical product. Hence, I've been doing e-commerce for almost 20 years. So I always tell people, what do you like? What are your hobbies? What do you want to do? Pick something and sell it online. You like basketball? Go buy basketballs and sell basketballs. Whatever it is, start a brand and get into e-commerce. That's my go-to.
Okay. So you would not, there was no specific one. You're saying just find it is what you like.
Like a specific guru?
Yeah. It's not, I wouldn't say that, but would you say, what are the essential skills that someone needs to do this? Is there like sort of, okay, I want to go out there and be an online guy, or girl, what do I need to learn?
I mean, your personal brand is the new resume. I believe that social media, I think everybody should be building somewhat of a brand on social media. And the way you do that is just by delivering value. The same way I grew Millionaire Mentor, to where it is now, is I just delivered value. So I think your personal brand is the new currency. It's going to get you farther in life. Even if you apply for a job, there are people looking at your social media, especially your Instagram page. I mean, unless you wanted to go into like government work, you're not going to care about your personal brand. That actually, they don't want you to have a personal brand. But I think everything in today's day and age, all starts with just becoming a person of value, serving others, because, when you become a person of value and serve, you can probably get anything you want in life and more. When you serve more people, if you help enough people get what they want, you can eventually get what you want. Zig Ziglar.
Do you sell courses that you make or only that other people make?
So I've done both. I've been a course creator. I sold an Instagram course. I've teamed up with a couple of people to launch some different Instagram trainings. But now that market has become so saturated, we just took a step back, because it's, even though I mentor on it, that's kind of been there, done that. I've actually teamed up with a pretty big company. I'm not going to mention it, but it's a $500 million company that teaches entrepreneurs how to trade the markets, whether it's cryptocurrency, whether it's stocks or Forex, and they're going into e-commerce. So it's a $500 million company that I'm working with, that is going in the direction of exactly what I set off to do. Because I was going to build my own online academies. I was going to do the Instagram course. I was going to do the Facebook course. I was going to do a YouTube course, a sales and marketing course. I was going to be the course guru. At the end of the day, you can only be a mentor to so many people, and building the courses, is either do it myself and become the guru, or, build brands, because I have a passion to build brands, and I'd rather just team up with a company that's already building the courses, and I can just direct the traffic, because that's what I'm good at, the traffic. And that goes back to your personal brand. The more eyeballs you have, the more followers you have, the more money you can make with traffic, because without traffic, there's no sales.
What is it that drives you, going forward now? So you're a successful guy, you're 40, you have a wife, a kid. What are you looking forward to? Do you have are you looking to get super rich? Do you have this aspiration for great wealth, or do you more of a lifestyle entrepreneur? What would you consider yourself?
I mean, yes, you got to have that aspiration to be a billionaire. I mean, I aspire to be a billionaire. Are you a billionaire?
No comment.
I aspire. So
depends who you ask.
That's funny. My wife called me up. She's like, "What are you doing right now? Come pick me up." I'm like, "No, I got an interview right now with Jordan Belfort." She's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "The Wolf of Wall Street guy. Don't you know you watched the movie The Wolf of Wall Street?" She's like, "Oh, that's your idol." I'm like, "Why is he my idol?" Because he did a lot of drugs and fucked a lot of bitches. Sorry, excuse my language. I'm like, "Why is he my idol?"
Many reasons, I think people look at the movie and they see, there's a lot of amazing things I did and a lot of crazy things I did, not so good things I did as well, right? But I think one thing was clear is I definitely was the most of whatever I did. And I think people like to, that's a good thing to strive to. Is just sort of whatever you're going to do it well, do it to its, logical extreme without getting crazy. I mean, there's two sides. Some people say, well, everything is good in moderation. And maybe that's true, but there's some things that are just like, I think that it's very difficult to go at success halfway. It's like either you're going to be a success-oriented person or you're not. And I think that the problem with a lot of people is that if they are in that and not category, it's very hard to really live an empowered life, the best life out there, if you're always struggling to make ends meet financially. You don't have disposable income. Some people are slave to money, slave to their job. And I think the idea is that it's not how much money you make, is that what's your own vision for your future? And is your current life feeding into that? Are you congruent or not? What do you think?
Yeah, I am like a lifestyle guy. I do aspire to build a brand. I don't know what that brand is going to be right now. That brand that's going to make me a billionaire. I don't know what it is right now. It could be the supplement company, because I've been one of those guys that dabbled in a lot of different industries, and I've tried this, I've tried that, I've tried a lot of different things. I've done okay, but I'm not billionaire anywhere close to that yet. But I think we'll get there one day. It's just, I got to figure out the right vehicle that's going to take me there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the problem is that, so much of that sort of extreme wealth is about the idea itself. Some ideas are just worthy of that sort of expansion, and most ideas are not. There's so many ideas out there that are really good to make $1 million a year, $500,000, maybe even 2 or 3. But when you start getting into real money, not every idea is just meant for that. There's something about it that prevents you from really growing it. So, and the mistake people make is they often try to take a small idea and make it more than it is. Some things are good for X amount of dollars. Others are good for X times 100. What do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree, because I know there's this company I'm with, the most. I mean, there's some people in this company, and if the followers out there want to know what it is, they have to contact me. But I'm not going to drop the name. But there's some people in this company, they're making $1 million a month, but that's it. That's the ceiling. If I put in the work for the next 1 to 2 years, I could be there. If I focus on that for the next 1 to 2 years, I will be at $1 million a month. But is that going to make me a billionaire? No. Maybe the supplement company. I don't know. Maybe investing in the real estate. I don't know, maybe becoming a good stock trader, investing in some stocks. I did pretty well in some stocks lately. I don't know. That's going to become the Warren Buffett. Actually, he just lost 15 billion of his net worth this year.
I think he's still okay though.
Yeah, I think he's still okay.
I think that, my experience with that level of wealth is that it typically does not come from income. It comes from an asset sale or an appreciating asset. So for example, the idea is that if you build a business, you can make X amount of cash flow from a business. But if you're really building a business correctly and it's got the right runway, you could build an asset that's worth, a 3, 4, 5 billion on a sale. That's really how most people get rich. There's one of 3 ways typically. It's real estate speculation, real estate investment. They get rich by owning a company, and they build that company, and that company has a valuation and exceeds a certain amount. And then the stock market speculation, you call it, trading, a lot of people, it's really not from trading back and forth. It's more about people that are, managing money. And, because of that, they're able to, get vast sums under management and make a small percentage. It's not typically that you pyramid up. Sometimes people are just amazingly great traders and they get lucky and they hit a trend and they can get there. But typically it's mostly managing money. You follow me?
Managing money from multiple streams.
No, in other words, like if to be a billionaire, it's typically not like you started off with 100,000 and turned it into a billion. It's typically like you're managing money. You might be managing 4 billion or 5 billion, and you take that money and through a deal you have for managing the fund, you might get, the old deal was a 2 and 20 where you get a certain percentage management fees and 20% of the profits. So by accumulating a massive amount of money under management, so say you're managing $10 billion, right? And let's say you have what's called a 2 and 20 deal, right? Which means that you get a 2% management fee, 20% of the profits, but none of the losses. So let's say you're managing 10 billion, you happen to be right, where you guessed right on the market and actually returned 50% and you made 5 billion. Guess what? You just made yourself $1 billion on that year. And that's how you see some of these hedge fund guys make $1 billion in a year, 700 million. They made it by managing large amounts of money and getting that 20% return. That's how it works.
Interesting. What do you know what decentralized finance is?
I do. I'm sure I do, but tell me what. And I probably called something else.
So you got me. I'm thinking about one of the companies that I invested in a couple of years ago. It's called Snowball.money. They're in the crypto space, and they are is what's called like a high interest savings account. They can actually make you 5 to 10% on your money every year.
How?
With taking your US dollar and converting it into a stable coin.
Yeah, I mean that works until it doesn't work, right? I mean, you can. I know. I just had a very smart guy, Beatles. You know, Beatles from the crypto space. It was just on my podcast last week. Very smart guy, very sober. One of the few people I really respect in the crypto space. Very smart, and he had a really great, attitude about what crypto really is, what it's not, what it's good for, what it's bad for, what it's a waste for, right? And we talked a lot about stable coins and things like Tether. I think a lot of bad shit happened with Tether. In fact, he invented Tether. He was one of the inventors of Tether, and Tether's a disaster in the making. And Tether's under investigation right now, and I know things happened there. I shouldn't say I know. Let's just say I strongly suspect that when you look back at what happened with that so-called stable coin, and there was a lot of extra issuance of stable coin when there shouldn't be. So that's back in the run-up in 2017 of Bitcoin. But that's a separate issue. I think crypto serves its purposes, especially in certain countries where there is no currency that actually is usable. But then again, as I spoke with Beatles about last week, it's really becoming it's more of a storehouse of value. It's not a currency that you can really trade. It's not really, at least the ones that are out there right now, they don't work for that.
Yeah,
but
not yet, at least. I mean, the mass adoption will take place when merchants, I believe, the merchant processors start taking.
Yeah, but they won't. That's not meant for that. It's meant when it'll start. A mass adoption will start when the government comes out with their own Bitcoin. That's when you'll have mass adoption. Like China is doing it right now, and the government can't allow there to be an independent currency. It's got to be it'll be a government-backed currency. I'm a big believer in blockchain technology. I think there's a lot of uses for blockchain. I think that there was a lot wrong with Bitcoin in the sense that the inflationary aspects were just a joke, and it was just like people saying it's going to 1 million. That's ridiculous. Do
you think Bitcoin will be like the store of value, like gold, like the gold standard, if any crypto that's ever made?
I don't really believe in Bitcoin. I don't like it. But I respect. Again, see what's happened is that as a small insignificant store of value, I think sure maybe some people that like it will use it, and theoretically it can be until something goes wrong. I don't really know about the future. I'm pretty much of a bear on it. I would never invest my own money in it. But
have you ever owned any?
What? Never. I've never owned it. I've refused it for other reasons. I just don't think I'm the right person that needs to be in that space. I don't think it's probably the right space for me. If anyone they get investigate, it would be me. Okay, so I stay away from that sort of stuff, right? So, but I think that to me there are far better storehouses of value than a Bitcoin, which to me is I think what Bitcoin represents, the underlying technology, is great. And I think it has a lot of uses. And I think that that's what you're going to see a lot more of in the future than, Bitcoin ever becoming. It can't be a currency. It's not meant to be. Really not. I mean, it just won't work. Bitcoin Cash more so than Bitcoin, but it's just not designed for that. If you try to do a lot of transactions at once, the network slows to a crawl. It becomes prohibitively expensive
to transfer.
Yeah, it's just, and also it's too volatile. So, no merchant can have a volatile asset like that to transact business. I think stable coins, again, are very different. But again, I don't think then you talk about like the government not wanting currency to be in the hands of private people. They'll never allow that to happen. They'll do it themselves, by the way. And I think that's. I mean,
it's so easy to make a coin a coin. Like the underlying code is so easy to duplicate and put a name on it.
Yeah, so I'd say, again, what bothered me about Bitcoin was that I was a huge bear at 20,000, okay? And I literally saw what was going on. I felt it was my obligation to stop it, to say what I could say, to stop people from getting ripped off, because they were getting ripped off. When it was 20,000, it was being pumped up illegally by the issuance of Tether. People were self-serving investors and promoters were saying it's going to 50,000, a million. And it was so obvious because I was once that scumbag many, many years ago that would do that. And I wouldn't do it anymore.
Pump and dump.
Yeah, no, that's what it was. It was just like, let's get more people. Let's just say, in order to get this, if Bitcoin's 18,000, the only way to get it to 50,000 is to say it's going to a million. So it's like you started getting all these idiots out there just saying Bitcoin's going to be a million in 3 months. It's like a joke. So that made me hate it. If it was more of a slow appreciation, I would have looked at it very differently, because it's okay, well, I like the technology underneath, but I saw what was happening. You get it with that? It was like people, create your own coin, make it, pump it up. I mean, come on. I mean, it's like ridiculous.
So many people fell scams to the ICO stage of the pump and dump. It's funny. I used to trade penny stocks for a good 2 years, way back in the days.
Listen, you could make a lot of money if you are on the right side of the scam. So pretty much every penny stock out there is a scam, and they are. Almost every single one is basically.
I lost a lot of money too.
Now, look, my definition of a penny stock is very different than yours. So a penny stock is not a low price stock. So a low price, you can have a stock that's 50 cents. That's not really a penny stock in my book. A penny stock is a stock that's basically been engineered not to make anybody money, but to enrich the people who issued the penny stock. So a penny stock is what someone creates with his jillion outstanding shares and a story that is just, mostly nonsense, and it's not about as a legitimate vehicle for people to make money as shareholders. It's about manipulation. It's about sending out phony news releases or email blasts and chat rooms and all the things that go with that, so people who got in early can dump it to people who get in the middle and at the end, right? That's a penny stock. You could have a 20-cent stock that might have a $5 million market cap, and it's a great prospect, and it's an amazing buy, and you can make a ton of money. So that's what I call penny stocks. It's not based on price. It's based on what's really going on behind the scenes. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to do that with the whole Tim Sykes back in the day. I took his course. I was in the trenches, day trading little OTC and penny stocks. I made some good money. Like I had some big ups, also had some big downs.
Did you end up net ahead or behind?
Behind. At the end of the day, when I got out because I was behind.
I think Tim Sykes was saying I was a scam artist while he was recommending penny stocks to unsuspecting. That was unbelievable. I was like, I didn't even bother to respond to it because whatever. I didn't care enough. It was just bizarre that this guy's out there hawking penny stocks. It's like, it literally is like, when a penny stocks actually works, it's in spite of everybody involved in it. It's like a miracle happened, and the people that were like, holy shit, it's working. How do we sabotage it? How do we issue more shares to make more money off something that I'm telling you, I know the game better than anyone in the world. And that is very different than someone that reverse merged into a shell, and the stock might be 32 cents or 25 cents because no one knows about it yet, and they're really trying to build the company, and they want to use, I think it was XPO, is it maybe that, not XPO, the real estate, what's the real estate car? Is it XPO maybe? It's EXP actually, the real estate company. They merged into a shell. There was a penny stock for a long time. Now it's got $1 billion market cap. That's a very different situation.
If the people that make all that money decide to actually use the money to build the company, most people just run away.
Exactly. They would actually, they merged into a shell, and they were using the stock to lock in real estate. They were using it for a reason to grow the business. It's very different than a penny stock, where it's just like, how do we come up with the story about the next cure for whatever it's going to be a cure for, or a technology to replace the computer. And if we get all the shares ourselves first, then we can write out these really cool emails and put it in chat rooms and get, average moms and pops to buy it. That's what I'm heavily against. So there you go. Anyway, getting back to your story. So what's the future for you? Like, I mean, you have a lot of success under your belt, right? You say you'd like to be a billionaire. Do you have anything that you're particularly excited about right now?
The company I'm with is what I'm 100% focused on. And, I want to get to that goal, a $500 to $1 million a month goal. This company is on the forefront of self-education. It's what I've been doing for the last 5 years. And now I'm teamed up with one company that's going to do it all. They're going to be releasing an e-commerce product. We're going to release in the next, almost like a law firm, how to launch a business entity project. They're going to be launching the real estate coming up, like a real estate wholesaling course.
So it's a storehouse for all sorts of learning products, basically.
Exactly. It's like the Udemy, but you get support. You get live support every single day from a community, from people that actually train you. You have a question, you can talk to someone one-on-one. And every day you get a live support. Obviously there's a monthly cost to it. There's a membership fee to it, but the company's on its way to $1 billion. So that's what I'm teamed up with. That's what I'm 100% focused on, is just, reaching that goal. And then It's like once you're there, 1-2 years from now, then I can decide what brand is going to really take me to the next level. What is that brand? Because I'm a true blood entrepreneur at heart. Like, I want to create an actual brand that I own, started from scratch. Yeah, I could do all these affiliate deals and make money here, make money in real estate, this deal, that deal. But I want to create a brand. I want to leave a legacy with that brand. So that's my goal. I don't know what that brand is. It could be the supplement company I started called Wealth Nutrition. It's kind of been on the back burner for a while. We came out with a nootropic formula, a little sleep formula, energy formula. But that's kind of on the back burner. It's just been chugging along in the background. Maybe, that might be it. I don't know.
All right. How about your wife? Is your wife your partner? Is she out of your business, in your business?
Yeah, my wife actually just started a business with Monet, hair care lines, and network marketing company. She's absolutely crushing it, helping women all over the world gain confidence, make some money. So she's doing really good in that business. She's been in that business for about 1.5 years. She's actually she's making a pretty decent income, almost catching up to me.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Good for you. All right. Well, buddy, listen, I want to wish you nothing but the greatest success in life. You have so far doing fabulous. I think the next 10 years is you got to just dig into that one idea and roll with it, and stick to it and add a zero onto your income. And I think the rest will take care of itself for you.
So, yeah, just stick to one goal. Successful people, the most successful people in the world, they know where they're going. They have a destination. They have a goal. And right now, that's my goal. Everything else is just a distraction.
Awesome. Good deal, buddy. Listen, thanks for everything. We got to roll. You're the best. And we'll talk again soon. Take care, everyone. Thanks for another great podcast. Check this out when it's released. Share it with your friends. Comment and so forth. God bless you. Take care, pal.